What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another episode of Predict the Prem, where me and my brother go head-to-head in predicting Premier League outcomes for the last time until the end of the World Cup. And we'll be back with some more episodes in November or December, I think it is. December, late December. But the way it works is me and my brother do go head-to-head in predicting every single Premier League game. And we've got a scoring system as well, which is 5 points for a completely correct scoreline, 1 point for a correct result on the star man. Once you pick that man, you cannot pick them again for the entirety of the season. It's 5 points for a goal scored, 3 points for an assist, and the scores at the moment, as you can see in the top left of your screen, 117 to myself, 101 to Sim. And let's get straight into it, starting with Manchester City against Brentford. 12:30 kickoff at the City of Manchester Stadium. Both gone 3-0 to Manchester City. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward, this one for Man City. Brentford haven't been on the best of form as of late, and I think with Erling Haaland probably coming back into the team for this one, I think it will be a battering.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's for sure he's coming back into the team, Haaland. Pep said he still might be having that injury. But nevertheless, City should be too strong. Brentford's away form has been pretty woeful, so I don't see them getting anything out of this game. I'm not sure if Ivan Toney's playing either, and if he doesn't, I can't see them getting a goal. So I think Man City should be a routine win.
All right, and moving on to the next game, which is Bournemouth against Everton at Bournemouth. And we've gone for opposite scorelines here. Sim has gone for 2-1 to Everton. I have gone for 3-1 to Bournemouth. And yeah, let's go with your reasoning first.
Well, Bournemouth are on the back of 4 losses in a row now after they had that unbeaten start under Gary O'Neill. Seemed the wheel would have the wheels completely fallen off. I wouldn't say they have, just because they've been taking the lead and maybe been a bit unlucky in giving up 2 games in a row. They've been giving up 2 goal leads against us and against Leeds in the last 2 games. But I think that 4 losses in a row now, maybe results are definitely starting to go against them, and it's hard for them to keep those leads for a reason, because their defence can't stand the pressure. Obviously, Everton haven't been great either, but they might. I think they'll see this as a good opportunity to get 3 points, and they'll go. And I think they'll go a bit more attacking than maybe they do in some other away games. So I think they're going to force issue a bit in this game, and I see a narrow victory.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a few of the highlights last night from Bournemouth-Everton in the Cup. Obviously, it's a rerun of that fixture. Obviously, Bournemouth won 4-1 in the Cup game. But Bournemouth did have quite a few changes throughout the game in terms of what they usually play in the Premier League. Everton, on the other hand, they did have a couple of changes, but it was more or less quite a strong team from Everton. So I was quite surprised how they got absolutely battered from Bournemouth last night. So I've got a feeling that it could be something similar, with Bournemouth actually having a much stronger team coming out this weekend, and Everton will have more or less the same team with a few different, maybe a couple of different players coming in. So with Everton's away form, only 1 win all season. Bournemouth, they haven't done great over the last 4 weeks, but they did get back to winning ways last night against this Everton side. So I've got a feeling it could be, again, another win for Bournemouth. But let's move on. Next one is Liverpool against Southampton at Anfield. Sim's gone 3-1 to Liverpool. I've gone for 2-0 to Liverpool. Hasenhüttl is gone now. This is the first game, I think, in the Premier League without Hasenhüttl. Maybe there will be some sort of manager bounce for Southampton. But Liverpool, on the back of a victory against us, I expect them to kind of swat away Southampton with not too many problems. Southampton just can't seem to buy a goal away from home at the moment, and I don't see it changing this time.
Yeah, it's the first game for new manager Nathan Jones, who they've signed from Luton Town. So obviously they're looking for that new manager bounce under their new manager. I'm not sure. Obviously, clearly he's done a good job at Luton. Why he's getting the job? I'm not sure what style of football he plays, and if he's going to be up to the challenge of Premier League management, because it's a big step up from the Championship. But Liverpool obviously got back to winning ways against us in the Premier League, albeit they didn't play very well. And they lost their last game at Anfield, so they definitely want to keep up. They want a reaction to that home defeat. So I've gone for a routine victory, although I think Southampton might get a goal.
All right, let's move on to Nottingham Forest against Crystal Palace. Sim's going for 2-1 to Palace. I'm going for 1-0 to Palace. And what are you thinking with this one?
Yeah, I think Forest, I know they did really well against us and they won the game. And they've at home, to be fair, they've been all right. But Palace have been in decent form recently. And they won their last away game against West Ham the last minute. I think with their attacking players, I can't see Nottingham Forest keeping them quiet. And I don't think Forest have the firepower to get more than a goal against this Palace defence. So I've gone for a narrow 2-1 victory to Palace.
Yeah, I mean, Nottingham Forest, the last couple of games at home have been fairly impressive in terms of results, beating us obviously 2-0 last night, getting 2-2 draw with Brentford, and also beating Liverpool at the City ground. So it's quite impressive from Forest recently at home. But I kind of agree with you. I think there'll be a bit too much from this Palace team. Eze's playing really well. Zaha's playing really well. Elise scored a brilliant goal against West Ham last week. So I'm expecting Palace to take the 3 points. But I don't think there'll be many goals in it. So I've just gone to Palace to nick it just 1-0 in this one. But next up, we have got Tottenham against Leeds. Sim's gone for 3-2 to Tottenham. I've gone for 1-1. And my thinking behind it is that Spurs just seem to be running on empty at the moment. Harry Kane was so tired, had to come off with half an hour to go and he barely had a kick. And it just seems we're running a bit on empty at the moment, and that's not what you want coming up against a very energetic Leeds team. And I'm really worried about the game this weekend. I was actually thinking that we might lose this game, but I just can't predict a loss at home to Leeds, so I've gone for 1-1.
I'm just hoping we've got one more big push in us left before the international break. We know how important the Premier League is with Kulusevski and Richarlison also potentially back in the team. Hopefully we'll have the firepower to really hurt Leeds when they press forward. Obviously it's going to be very difficult for us because they're a very high-intensity, high-pressing team, and do I see our defence holding out the way they're playing right now? I don't, so I can see some goals against, but I'm hoping with one big push, the firepower will be enough to see us just about edge Leeds. So I've gone for a 3-2 victory.
All right. Let's move on to West Ham against Leicester at the London Stadium. Simmer's gone for 1-0 to West Ham. I've gone for 1-1 here. And what are you thinking on this one?
Yeah, it's going to be another close game. Obviously, West Ham went out to Blackburn in the Carabao Cup in midweek. Before that, they had a last-minute loss against Palace, in the league. So a bit of heartbreak at home over the last couple of games. So I think they're going to want to end off with a big reaction. And Leicester are playing really well at the moment. Maddison has obviously just been called up to the England squad now, and they are playing well, but I do think West Ham have the capability to nullify them. If they can just keep, if they can keep Maddison quiet, and they can find a bit of quality, I do think they have the firepower to score against Leicester and then keep it tight. So I've gone for a narrow 1-0 victory to West Ham.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because before the game against Crystal Palace, West Ham were actually starting to play quite well. They were getting unlucky against teams like Liverpool, where they really should have got a result, against Manchester United as well, both narrow 1-0 losses where they couldn't get over the line. But last couple of performances from West Ham haven't been that great against Palace, and obviously last night to Blackburn. Leicester, on the other hand, have been going really well the last few weeks. They've only conceded 1 goal in their last 6 games, that's super impressive when you look at their defence, what it was like first half of maybe this quarter of the season. They were just shipping in goals for fun. They were conceding a minimum of 2 goals a game, but they really seem to have shored up that defence. Like I said, 1 goal conceded in the last 6 games, and that was to Man City in a 1-0 loss. Kept a clean sheet in every other game so far in the last 6 games. So I can't really separate these teams. I got a feeling Leicester could actually nick something, but I've played it a bit more safe, so I've gone for 1-1 here. So I've gone for 1-1. Sim has gone for 1-0.
That's what a 16-point lead in the predictions would do to you, playing it safe.
Playing it safe would be looking at your scores and copying what you do, because that will definitely get me a win by the end of the season. But no, I've gone for 1-1. Sim has gone for 1-0 to West Ham. But let's move on to Newcastle against Chelsea. Both of us going for Newcastle wins here at St James's Park. Him going for 2-1 to Newcastle, and I have gone for 1-0 to Newcastle. And I think Newcastle just playing too well at the moment. Best defence in the season. Chelsea seem to be stuttering a little bit of late. Not really sure what's going on at Stamford Bridge at the moment. But Newcastle, I think they just look a bit too strong at the moment.
Yeah, I can't look past Newcastle where they're playing, even if they do play people like Jacob Murphy in their front line. The way Eddie Howe's got them playing, they're putting in brilliant performances even against the very best teams. Only lost this season, obviously, away to Liverpool, where they shouldn't even have lost that with the 98th minute winner. I think Newcastle are playing superbly defensively as well. They're so much more solid than Chelsea. I do see with the quality Chelsea have, and they know they want a reaction to their recent form. So I'm going to see maybe some spurts of good play and maybe a goal. But I think Newcastle are going to be too strong. And I think if Saint-Maximin as well is back in this game,
is he back,
I think he came on against Southampton. He got an assist, so I'm guessing he's going to be back. So I think a couple of goals for Newcastle and a 2-1 win.
Next up at the Molineux is Wolves against Arsenal. Both of us going for Arsenal wins here. 3-0. Sim is going for. I'm going for 2-0. And yeah, I think it's going to be a bit routine victory for Arsenal in this one, to be honest. They're looking really strong at the moment. Wolves looking really poor at the moment. So that's all that needs to be said, really.
And yeah, with Wolves' lack of firepower, his Costa still serving his match ban, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's over. But either it is or it isn't.
It's not going to make too much difference, is it?
I can't see it making a difference. It's his Arsenal side who, with William Saliba at the back, are just batting away everything that comes their way. And their forward line is so fresh and energetic right now. I can't see Wolves holding out. So I see a comfortable victory for Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, if Arsenal would have played a strong team in the Carabao Cup this week, it could have been a little bit different, but they got so many players rested in midweek for this game. I can't see anything but an Arsenal win and a convincing one at that. But let's move over to the Sunday fixtures. Brighton against Aston Villa at the Amex. Both of us going for the same scoreline here in 2-2. What are you thinking?
Yeah, obviously Brighton got their on good form. They beat Arsenal midweek. They've beaten Chelsea, and then they won their last game 3-2 against Wolves as well. So 3 wins in a row now for Brighton. They're playing very well, but they are coming up against an Unai Emery-inspired Aston Villa, who won their first game against Man United last week. Obviously, they play Thursday against Man United again in the Carabao, so we'll wait and see how that turns out. But with Villa's firepower, I think, and Unai Emery is able to unlock that, I think they could be a very potent team up front, because they do have a lot of quality. And the way Brighton play, very open, I can see Villa exploiting that. But with the way De Zerbi has this Brighton team playing free-flowing football at the moment, I think they'll have the capability of opening up Villa as well. But I see a score draw.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't put it better myself, to be honest. I think that Brighton, like you say, are having really good thing of it at the moment. Unai Emery in his first game with Villa completely swatted Manchester United aside. So I think it's going to be a really good game of football. Quite open, to be honest, although Unai Emery's teams aren't usually that open. But I think Brighton, with the attacking prowess that they're showing at the moment, they can really break down this Aston Villa side. And I think going the other way, it's completely the same as well. Aston Villa, like you say, got some really good attacking talent where they can really put Brighton to the sword. So I couldn't really separate these, and I think that it will be a draw 2-2. Last but not least is Fulham against Manchester United at Craven Cottage. Both of us going for Manchester United win. Sim going for 1-0. I'm going for 2-1, and the reason I'm going for 2-1 is that I've been impressed with Fulham this season. Andreas Pereira seems to be getting goals and assists every week at the moment, and Mitrovic, one of the top goal scorers in the Premier League at the moment. A lot to be impressed about with Fulham this season. Manchester United as well, getting to grips with things under Ten Hag. They're starting to get consistent results, and I think it will carry on here, but I can see Fulham getting a goal from somewhere, whether it will be a set piece from Pereira or Mitrovic getting a goal. I can't see them getting a goal, but I think Man U will just about nick this one.
I think Mitrovic is out for this game, I believe. So that's the main reason I've gone for them not to score. I believe he's not going to be seen to the World Cup, I think was confirmed. So I've gone for them to, I think with the way Fulham play as well, I know they got a goal last week against Man City. It was the obviously red card with the penalty as well. They didn't really threaten Man City other than that, which they would be disappointed with. I just think Man United are going to have a bit too much quality with their forward players, and they'll get a goal. And I think Fulham will huff and puff, but I don't know if they'll have the quality without Mitrovic to get a goal. So 1-0.
All right, and let's move over to the star men. And who have we got? All right, so Sim has gone for Darwin Nunez, and I've gone for Big Dom Solanke. So I've got
Everton at home.
Yeah, I've got Everton at home, which I predicted 3-1 to Bournemouth. So I'm expecting Solanke, especially as he was rested this week in the Carabao Cup, to get something, at least a goal or an assist.
And I've gone for Nunes at home to Southampton, who obviously he's been getting a lot of chances without putting the ball in the back of the net. I'm just hoping he'll get the same amount of chances with a bit better finishing. So I've gone for him to get a goal at home to Southampton.
All right, so there you have it. That is the last Predict the Prem until before the big break for the World Cup. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of our predictions. Who do you think will come out on top? And put your predictions in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.